What is up, lads? Welcome back to another video. Um, I don't know what I'm gonna name this one. I have a couple of titles, but the main thing that I want to talk about today is my mistakes. Now, I started trading September of last year, so I've been trading for I think 7 months now. In those 7 months, I wasn't on a prop firm. I was taking my time. I was pretty cautious, and I only got a prop firm account the start of this year, January. In January, I made a lot of mistakes. I lost an account, but I learned. February was the same type of thing. Early February, I was learning. There's a lot of things that um, being actually trading prop firms made me realize more and made me dig deeper into everything. So although I was trading from September, I think the true experience is coming from me trading prop firms because I'm analyzing a bit better. I'm seeing everything properly. But if you have been a follower of mine, um, you have seen that I've made videos in the past month of winning days, losing days, and just recaps. And each of the videos has one thing in common. No matter if it's a win or a loss, I'm learning. It's a learning lesson. I think my number one thing that I enjoy doing is learning. Every single mistake, every single loss that I had, I didn't count it as a loss because it was just a lesson. I would journal it and I would be very, very optimistic. So the reason that I'm so down in this video is because I experienced the brutal reality of trading as a beginner. As a beginner, there are so many micro lessons that you're going to learn. And in the market, those lessons are most likely losses. And if it's a micro error that you make, that is most likely a loss on your hand. And it's your fault. Someone else's. Today, I took a break-even trade, and I think the break-even trade was perfect. I could not manage my risk any better, and I was very happy with it. My rule is 2 trades. That's it. Then the market was heading upwards, and we had news at 10. And basically, I was still looking for bearish movements. Okay, and when you look at the trade recap, which I'm going to do, you can tell why this was a stupid move of me. Like I said, micro errors and failed observations made by me caused me to flip a switch in my head. And the reason that was because I took the short. I thought everything was right, but I failed to see the most blatant moves that were happening. After on my break-even trade, the reason that I went break-even was because we took out 930 low. Now, before this video and before me, calming down, I didn't really think much of the 930 low, and that is one thing I'm going to journal. I think the 930 low is important, and learning from today, I'm going to journal that if we reject off the 930 low, then that is most likely all we want for the day. I had some barriers in my head because I was looking at ES, and I was still bearish, even though we were respecting bullish. We swept the 930 low, and we continued upwards. We made this bullish fair value gap. I was already looking at that gap. I drew out the fair value gap, and I have templates. Even though the fair value gap was clearly getting respected, I put the template as an inversion fair value gap. I anticipated that that fair value gap would be disrespected and it would become an inversion. It didn't. We continued trading up, made another bullish gap. That was at the 10 o'clock news. We did have the inversion. I took the trade and I lost. Why? Looking back at it, I failed to see one, the high time frame bias is super bullish. Two, the lower time frame bias is super bullish. We swept the low and we are respecting bullish. The 10 o'clock news made a wick, we swept it. Now I was thinking, okay, we swept, we have a bearish SMT. I looked at the bearish SMT, but we didn't take out data highs on ES. So while that move was happening down, we left data highs, we left relative equal highs, and we already swept the low. And we're already respecting bullish. That is what triggered my switch. I took the short. I lost the trade. I looked at what went wrong, and in a matter of a minute, I figured out exactly what went wrong and how oblivious I was to the real move and how the mistake was so stupid that I got really frustrated at myself. I got really frustrated at myself for not seeing how clear it was. It was unbelievably clear. That's what caused me to overtrade. All these micro mistakes, micro errors, failed observations that I made over the past month that I have called lessons and that I've optimistically, taken and moved from it, I think has been subconsciously building up in my mind. And today was the day that I got frustrated. So I didn't go and trade every single candle. I was a little bit more sane than that, a little bit. I did take 2 break-even trades. On the second one, I caught myself. It was a winning trade, like it was an inversion on the downside, and I took it. And I was like, what am I doing? Why am I overtrading? And I closed the trade, and the trade hit. It was a good trade. That was another trigger. Then I'm like, okay, we're clearly bullish. This is just a retracement. I'm going to get in. So I do a pyramid entry. We're respecting consequent encroachment of this fair value gap. I enter. We trade up. We have an inversion. I add to my position. Although the trade idea was great, although the target was great, the trade hit and I ended up green on the day. I'm heavily disappointed in myself for not following my rules. And that is why, I think that this is the brutal reality of trading. As much as you think you're so close to understanding, as much as you think you are so close to having it, to passing an account or whatever, subconsciously things are happening. And for me, that was, I'm so optimistic about understanding. Like every single day I'm learning something, that I got carried away and lost control. So before we get into the recap, I want to say for everyone following me and everyone who has been in the Discord, talked with me, communicated with me, and asked me for advice. I'm sorry for you guys, and I'm disappointed in myself because of today. So I hope that this doesn't happen to anyone else, that you guys learn from my mistake. And yeah, I'm sorry again for everyone who has been following me, who has been showing me support, because this is not what I want with my journey. This isn't who I want to be. Um, and I want to show you guys better. I want to be better, not only for you guys, but for myself. But that's why I'm being completely transparent. So yeah, that's basically what happened today. So I'll show you guys exactly what happened, exactly what I was thinking, and what went down in the actual trade recap. So getting into the day, I'll show you guys exactly what I was looking at and exactly what I was thinking. I'll also show like my execution marks at the end, so you guys know that like I'm being pretty real. So last night and yesterday we had a move up, and we came back down. We had a little bit of a retracement. This is a 4-hour time frame. And then London, we had another move up, and this was the candle that was printed and closed at 10 o'clock. So what I was watching with this 4-hour candle was, can we close below this 4-hour fair value gap? Are we rejecting off of it? Because at the open, we are already tapping into it. So even pre-market, we were tapping into it. So I was thinking, are we going to respect it? This is the last bearish fair value gap in the leg. That's normally the strongest. I would want to see us take some sell side before we really go through it. So that was the 4-hour time frame that I was looking at and what I was thinking. The draws was, we have the previous day low, Asia low, and then London low down here with these relative equal highs here, that ended up being taken out. On the hourly time frame, we can see yesterday we traded higher, and then we have these Asia highs that were left, Asia low, London low. We also have the midnight open down here. Now we have this hourly fair value gap that was clearly getting respected pre-market. This is the 7 o'clock candle that closed at 8, and we just tapped this fair value gap and completely rejected, even closing. The body closed above this first fair value gap as well. This is insanely bullish. Now, at this point, what I was thinking was, okay, we might be just waiting for time. We have this sweep from previous day high, and we reject off of it while rejecting off of the 4-hour fair value gap. So I was just waiting off the open to see exactly what we can do. Then at the, I guess I'll go to the 1 minute time frame now. Actually, well, yeah, you can see the 15-minute just taps, 15-minute gap, or the hourly gap, and then we trade higher, sweeping out, and yeah. So on the 1 minute time frame, what do we have? So I'll actually leave that. So we sweep this minor buy sign, and we leave this fair value gap. I was waiting to see, can we have an inversion of this fair value gap? So I'm waiting. We resweep these highs, and we have an SMT with ES. And then we have the inversion of the gap. I enter right here for my first trade, the close of this candle, with my stops being at consequent encroachment of the gap, also at the top of this candle here, targeting this sell side. My break even was, this is how little I was thinking of the 930. My break even wasn't the 930, it was this 5 minute, or where was it? This 5 minute fair value gap right here. It was untapped at the moment. I wanted to see if we have speed. If not, I'm break even and I'm protected, right? So we sweep this 930 low, and at that point, I'm not thinking anything of it. I'm not even thinking that this is a sweep. So going in the future, I'm going to be very, very, very cautious of the 930 open. I'm going to treat this as like a London low. or Asia low that we can sweep, and that is heavy confluence if we reject off of it as a reversal. So I ended up getting break even here, which is fine. My break even point was proper. It was the 5-minute fair value gap, and it was perfect. Now, at this point, I am still bearish, mainly because this is what ES looked like. We have this swing low. This was the low that took out the New York AM low, and we left these relative equal lows down here. So I was thinking, okay, why aren't we going towards this? We have a bearish SMT still. Why not? So what I did have was, you can see, I didn't touch any of my drawings. My dog is whining at my door. Let me let my dog. I left everything the same. This is exactly what I had drawn up. I have this fair value gap. At the point, I had it like this. Already thinking that this is a inversion. I wanted it to be an inversion, right? I was thinking, okay, we have these highs here. We sweep, reject off of this gap, while ES is rejecting off the 5-minute. I'm thinking, okay, right when this has an inversion, I'm entering. I even drew up, actually this was later, but like, I really wanted this inversion. And I thought of it so much that it already was in my mind, and then we traded away from it. In my mind, I was still bearish, even though we were respecting heavily this fair value gap. It's not an inversion, it's a fair value gap. We swept, made a fair value gap. You can say that this is a breakish structure as well. Close above, and then we retap and distribute higher. I failed to see this. Then, at this point right here, we have news coming out at 10. I know exactly what the news is going to do. It's going to help in the direction that we really want to go, right? I said that. We have this fair value gap. Again, I'm treating this as an inversion already. But I wasn't going to take a trade. I was saying, if this is inversion, I'm going to wait, and we're going to have this change in state, and we're going to have this inversion, and I'm going to enter down here. My break even is going to be here, and I was already planning everything. Because I was thinking, okay, we're just sweeping, whatever, we're just going to have this inversion. We didn't have an inversion. Right? Not at all. And we traded higher. At this very point, this is when I thought, okay, that's the manipulation over with. We swept the 930 highs and the data highs. Now we're going to have this inversion. I'm going to enter. Enter right here at the close. Stops at the side. Or actually, it stops at the bottom of the gap, because I didn't want it to come and touch. It was at consequent encroachment of this bullish gap. So this bullish gap, right in the consequent encroachment of it. That was my stop loss. I was targeting, I think at this point it was this low. I'm not even sure what I was targeting. I probably was targeting this still. And obviously, as you can see, I got stopped out. Why was this trade so wrong? Right, we swept the data highs, and we have a strong inversion with displacement. Why was this so wrong? Well, we still didn't close below this fair value gap. ES, this was data high. We still didn't take out data high on ES. Data highs are a job where SMTs don't really count. They're gonna get taken out. So ultimately, this was the move. We have the inversion back up, and then we target the highs, the relative equal highs. what was going through my mind at this point? I'm like, right as I lose this trade, I'm like, are you kidding me? Why? I thought I was so onside. Why did this happen? In a minute, I figure out exactly what happens. We're respecting bullish, disrespecting bearish. ES has like low resistance highs with data highs. And we already traded so low on ES. Where did we stop? At the last gap before the inversion. Or sorry, before the lows. Body stopped, didn't close below it, we just wicked, and we turned. And that's what flipped the switch. I was thinking, oh, like right around here, I'm like, I can see this going higher. Should I just enter now? I'm like, no, it's stupid. We end up going higher, and I'm watching this whole move higher, right? We take out the highs, and I'm like, you know what? See if I can get in a retracement. That's what happens. So, I'm pretty sure I bought right here, and I got stopped out. Then I set a sell limit right here. We come up, about to wick it, and I close the trade. Close the trade, right? Because we have this inversion, and I'm not thinking straight at this point. I'm just, fuck, I want to trade, I want to trade. We have this inversion. I don't even know what I would have targeted. But then I still enter short again somewhere. And then I'm like, shit, this is stupid. So I get out of the trade. Then I'm thinking a little bit more clear. As clear as I could be. We made this 15-minute fair value gap. And we weren't even consequent encroachment of that gap. Then we have this 5-minute fair value gap. And on the 1-minute time frame, I entered a long right here. My stops right here. Targeting this. And then at this point I got hit out break even. And then I tried again right here. Entered one position right here with my stops at consequent encroachment. And we have this, or not this, but we have a 3-minute bearish fair value gap. And I enter another position right here. So I have 2 positions on the table. Ends up hitting. I actually was so emotional that I closed beforehand. I closed at this swing high. So right when we hit this swing high, I closed. But it did hit my take profit, which I guess if we're talking about learning experiences, that's something I gotta learn to hold. But it's not really a good experience because I'm just over trading at this point. With the losses of, you know, I think I got like negative slippage on this, probably like $30. I was down like $800, $814. Then this trade here hit me out. I was down $900. And now I'm up $400 on the account. I'm very, very disappointed with myself. I'll show you guys my execution marks. So this was the morning, 846.25. Got stopped out break even. Entered the trade here at 24,894, which was like literally bottom tick. Literally. Could not get any lower than that. Then I got stopped out at 935, which is consequent encroachment. Just unfortunate. And then up here, shorted, or I bought, right? Lost 10 points, so $100. And that's when I was down $900. and then I shorted on this candle. 25.074, got out 0.72. Then I bought at 25.050, which is like right below consequent encroachment. Like, I thought I was ICT or something, like, oh, we're holding consequent encroachment. And then I stop out at like break even. And then I buy again at 25.079, which is right here, the top of the fair value gap. And then buy again at 106, which is right here. Close at 123. So somewhere right here. I just think it, like, looking back at it right now, it's so stupid. And this is the reality of trading. It's so ugly to look at, and this is like an embarrassment ritual for me, honestly. Like, this is horrible to look at. Like, I never even pyramid trades. Why am I pyramiding? But whatever. It's definitely something that I'm gonna learn from. This down here is something that is gonna be my main takeaway. This up here is emotion, which I also have to work on. But my main takeaway for the day is, what did we sweep? If we swept something, are we respecting in the opposite direction? If so, you are now in that opposite. Your bias should be the opposite direction until you're proven wrong. And in this point, I should have waited until this change in state. I wanted to get the best entry. I think in the future, I'm going to wait for, like, if there's a gap here, I'm going to wait for this change in state. I'm okay with that. But yeah. This is the reality of a beginner trader. It's ugly. It's not something I'm proud of. And it's, you know, it's really stupid of me. But yeah. So, closing off this video, I know it's a long one, and I bet not a lot of people are going to watch this, but for everyone who does, stay for the end. I hope you guys learned something. Just understand that the human brain has a limit on how much it can take. Even though you're being optimistic, like I was, it's hard. And it's honestly, like, really, really, really stupid to do this. So please manage your mental health as much as you manage your trading, because they are both relatively important. But yeah, that is it for the day. I think this is gonna be my thumbnail. And yeah, I hope you guys stayed safe today. If you caught this long after, like, literally faded me, that's a great play. That was the play of the day. If you caught that, honestly, so great. If you caught that, leave a comment in the description to what you were thinking. I think I would know, like, hindsight, but in the moment, what were you guys thinking? Especially with this sweep up here. But yeah, just learn from me, man. And again, I'm sorry for everyone who has been following me, looking at me as, like, someone who can teach a little bit, even though I'm relatively new. Someone who can teach. I'm really sorry. And I'm also, like, heavily disappointed in myself. So yeah, hopefully in the future, well, definitely in the future, I will be managing my emotions a bit better and executing a bit better. So yeah, have a safe rest of your day, everyone, and maybe I'll see you guys tomorrow. See ya.